and welcome back everyone. In this video we will be studying about the kingdom fungi, and here we will be basically covering the first part of the kingdom fungi, that is the introduction of the kingdom fungi, in which we will be studying about the characteristics, we will be studying about the structure, we will be studying about the nutrition, and we will be studying about the reproduction of the fungi. So let's start with the video. Now coming to the characteristics of the fungi, they are eukaryotic. Okay, that means they have well-defined nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelles. All right, and then next is they are heterotrophic. That means they do not make their own food. Okay, they take food from some other sources, and they can be parasitic, they can be saprophytic, or they can be symbiotic. We will be studying about each type of the heterotrophic mode of nutrition when we will be talking about the nutrition part. Okay, now coming to the cell wall, the cell wall is made up of chitin. Okay, they have a chitinous cell wall. That is why they are different from plant, because plant they have cellulosic cell wall, but there is only one class of fungi, that is Oomycetes. Those are having a cellulosic cell wall. Okay, you need to keep that thing in mind, that Oomycetes is one class of fungi. Those are the ancient fungi. Okay, and they contain cellulosic cell wall. Rest of the other fungi, they contain chitinous cell wall. Okay, and these are non-motile. Okay, and they store food in the form of glycogen. That means plants they store food in the form of starch, but fungi they store food in the form of glycogen. Okay, now coming to the structure of the fungi, they have a vegetative part known as hyphae. Okay, now what are hyphae is they are thread-like, tubular and branch structure. Okay, entire hyphae, that is entire mass of the hyphae, make mycelium. All right, now coming to next, hyphae are of two types, that is septate and non-septate. Okay, and what is septate and what is non-septate you see from the diagram. All right, septate means they have cross-walled. Okay, that is known as septa, and non-septate, they do not have cross wall and they do not contain septa. Okay, what is septa? You see the boundary. Okay, the protoplasm has been divided, all right, with the help of a septa. You see, with the help of a membrane, this is known as septa. And here the protoplasm is not divided. Okay, there is a single protoplasm, but here there are multiple protoplasm, isn't it? These type of hyphae is known as non-septate hyphae, but this type of hyphae is known as septate hyphae. Okay, you see here septate hyphae have cross-walled septa. Septa consist of pores for protoplasm movement. There is a membrane between the protoplasm, isn't it? But there should be some kind of channel between the two protoplasms, so that there can be the supply of the food, nutrients, water, or everything, isn't it? That is why there is pore in its septa, means here, okay, there is a pore out here. All right, from where the nutrition, water, minerals, everything, they travel from one protoplasm to another, but there is no requirement of any kind of pore, because there is no septa or there is no boundary. Okay, so in non-septate hyphae you see there is no septa, thus free movement of protoplasm. Okay, there is one word known as choanocytic, children. Okay, choanocytic means single protoplasm containing many nuclei. That means non-septate form of hyphae can also be known as choanocytic cell. Okay, because these are the protoplasm, okay, which are containing many nuclei. Okay, see, there are so many nuclei, but the protoplasm is single. So this type of arrangement is known as choanocytic. Okay, now coming to nutrition, children, fungi they basically have absorptive type of nutrition, because they obtain the nutrition by absorption from the environment. Okay, they directly absorb the food from the outer environment. All right, that is why their nutrition type is absorptive. All right, now coming to the different type of nutrition, that is saprophytic, parasitic, and another is symbiotic. In saprophytic kind of nutrition, you see they obtain food from dead or decaying matter. In the saprophytic nutrition mode, all right, fungi they obtain nutrition from the dead matter present outside them or around them. Okay, and the example is mucor and penicillium. If coming to the parasitic type of nutrition, children, in these the fungi, they obtain food from the host. Okay, what are host? If something is sitting on my body and they are obtaining food and shelter out of me, then my body is said to be host, because that particular organism which is living in my body is obtaining food and shelter out of my body. Okay, but it is not helping me in any way. Alright, that is known as host. But what is known as association is, see, if something is sitting in my body and it is helping my skin to glow like anything, okay, that means we are in association. It is obtaining food and shelter for my body, and in turn of that it is also benefiting me. Okay, if that is the thing, then it is known as association or symbiotic relationship. And if the thing is only the thing which is sitting on the body is getting benefited, then that is host. Okay, now you see, obtain food from host, that is rust and smuts. All right, and symbiotic, obtain nutrition from association. Association means both the organism which are in the association are benefited. Okay, you see here the example is mycorrhiza and lichen. Mycorrhiza is the association between fungi and plant root, and the lichen is the association between fungi and algae. Okay, you note it down, that is very important. Now coming to the reproduction part, children, they reproduce both sexually as well as asexually. And how asexually? By two types, that is budding and spores formation, and sexually by gamete formation. All right, we'll be studying more about the reproduction in the next upcoming video, but here let us just see the basic concepts. Okay, now coming to the asexual reproduction, they reproduce by budding. Budding, you have studied this form like I think class 7 onwards, isn't it? There what happens, a small bulge is formed from the parent body. That bulge get detached, right, and it starts growing as a new individual. Okay, but here when we'll be studying about the reproductive cycle of the yeast, okay, that budding will not be the same budding that we studied earlier anymore. Okay, there will be the twist in that budding, and we will be coming in the next video about that. Okay, spore formation, children, the next type of asexual reproduction by which the fungi reproduces through spore formation. Okay, here what happens, there is a formation of sporangia. Sporangia is a sac-like structure or a bag-like structure inside which there are lot of spores. Okay, and these structure, it bursts and releases so many spores, and each spores they germinate into new individual fungi. Okay, and you see here the spores again can be of two type. Okay, one is zoospore and another is alpenospore. Zoospores are those spore which has flagella. Okay, but alpenospores are those spore which lack flagella. Now let us recap the thing. First, coming to the characteristics, fungi are eukaryotic. They have heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Their cell wall is made up of chitin. They are non-motile and they store food in the form of glycogen. Okay, and structure, they have a structure known as hyphae, and it is the vegetative part of the fungi. Okay, and reproductive part is the spores. Okay, they have vegetative part known as hyphae. They are long, tube-like, and they are branch structure. Okay, and they are of two type, that is septate and non-septate. Septate hyphae are those hyphae which have a septa in between the protoplasm, okay, dividing the protoplasm into compartments. But the non-septate are those which do not have any kind of membrane between the protoplasm. That means single protoplasm, it contains numerous nuclei. Okay, and we came across a new word known as echinocytic type of cell, in which single protoplasm contains so many nuclei. Okay, in which single protoplasm contains so many nuclei. Okay, and coming to the type of nutrition, fungi, they have basically absorptive type of nutrition which are of two type, that is saprophytic, parasitic, and symbiotic. Saprophytic nutrition are those type of nutrition in which fungi depend on the dead and decaying matter. Parasitic type of nutrition are those nutrition in which the fungi depend on the host body. Okay, only the fungi get benefited but it does not benefit the host. Okay, And the symbiotic relationship is the type of relationship in which the fungi and another organism, they live in a mutual relationship where both of them get benefited. Okay, now coming to the reproduction in fungi are of two types. One is asexual and another reproduces by budding and spore formation. In budding, there is a small outgrowth from the parent body that birds develop, and finally it get detached from the parent, okay, and start living as a new individual. But in spore formation, there is a formation of sporangia, that is a bag like structure in which there are a lot of spores, okay. Those sporangia, they burst and they releases spores, okay. And spores are again of two types, that is flagellated and non-flagellated. Flagellated spores are known as zoospores and non-flagellated spores are known as alpinospores. That's all for today, and in next video we will be studying about the classification of fungi. So stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.